What is going on, guys? Welcome to Double Tap. This is Mash Those Buttons podcast dedicated to the FGC. I am your host, Crash. Of course, back because I missed you guys and also because Ja locked me up in the basement. So I have to be here for the show. I'm, of course, here with Static G in the building. Mez is not here right now. He's probably out somewhere napping. That's not a lie. He probably is asleep somewhere. All good. Everybody needs a recharge.
From going forward, whenever Mez is not here, he's taking a nap. He's the sleepy
just
boy.
Assume.
You know, I nicknamed him the Mad Rapper of the FGC. I'm just gonna name him the Sleepy Boy now.
The sleepy boy of the FGC.
Since he keeps sleeping through recordings. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good. Sometimes, you know what? You got to recharge the meter sometimes. I ain't going to blame him. It happens to the best of us. But that does not mean we can't get a show going on. And obviously, we've got Ja in the building as well with us for another episode. This is, of course, Double Tap, podcast dedicated to everything and anything in the fighting game community. This is episode 364. Getting all that much closer to that 400 already. It's recorded today on the 12th of March, 2024. And we've got some good things to get into. Some stuff that is literally fresh out the Capcom oven, like within, like an hour or two, maybe something like that. Yeah, so we're going to jump into that. We've got some potential rumors going on. And we've got an update of a returning game that we've covered its long since departure. Now it's coming back, and it's coming back seems in a very positive way. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, make sure to follow the show at Double Tap FGC, of course, on Twitter, on YouTube. We do post up content there, like the episodes here that you actually are checking out. But yeah, make sure to follow us on those social media platforms. We interact as much as we can with, of course, our fans, all you guys, when we have our questions of the week and, of course, our polls, which we're going to get into right now. So, unfortunately, I wasn't here last week to ask this, but I got the deets. So last week, we got to ask you guys, what previous outfits would you bring back in Tekken 8? Yes, it's a Tekken-centric question. So we've gotten a couple of answers here that we're going to go through, which one of them even enlightened me, which is this one right here. Actually, the T6 Zafina butterfly outfit coming from Calic. I did not know Zafina was actually in T6. That's actually a revelation for me. I thought she was a T7 character. I don't know if it's because her design is kind of wild in T7, so I thought she was original there. But regardless, Calic would like to see her come back with the new meaning for the butterfly strap she's got going on there. We've got this is Fit Ginger is Filthy Ginger, right? Or Ginger Filth, right? Yeah, it's Ginger Filth. I'm pretty sure that's their name. It's just different on Discord from what I remember on Twitter. But they're stating King's Tekken 3 sweats is always a solid. Is it the one that they actually like created that clothing line with? Is that the one I'm thinking about with the the purple shirt and like the leopard print?
The blue shirt and the gray pants, like the
Adidas pants? With the leopard print, like Adidas looking joints. Okay, that's respectable. That's kind of in terms of like outfits, like iconic outfits in Tekken. That's pretty high up there. Just as high up as Gemga Man's entry here. Even if Hayachi isn't here, whether it's Kazuya or Jin or Kuma. Someone better put on the Fudoshi for those that are cultured. You know what a Fudoshi is. Also kind of a staple in Tekken. And I guess, just got to let the lineage continue, I guess, with that outfit is what Gengar Man wants to bring on. We've got Logan, LRH_95 on Twitter, hitting us with the Tekken 3 leathers with the infamous picture of Paul over watching over the San Francisco Bridge. All lettered up, so wants to see that come back. And then we've got one last one from PGT FGC. Never played T5, but this outfit clears. We're talking, I guess, like a Lily, like a corset joint, like a going out corset joint is what she has rocking. I'm not sure if you've seen that outfit in the wild, Static, but
no,
I mean, I guess maybe that's his character, and he just wants to be more. Because you're like Lily, like she usually has like the frilly dresses and such, so this is a bit more tomboyish, kind of like. This feels like she just got something out of Asuka's like closet.
It screams not like late 90s, early 2000s pop star.
It's definitely like early 2000s.
I can see that. Britney Spears would rock this. Yeah. Britney Spears would rock this. I can see that. I can see that. Those are the outfits we would like to see come back, or what you guys would like to see come back to Tekken 8. Any notables from you guys here?
I don't know. I'm going to keep going. Michelle Branch. No, I'm kidding. Costumes.
Let me see.
Old Tekken costumes. I mean, I always like the Law Bruce Lee costumes, all the homages.
Oh, the yellow and black?
Yeah, the yellow jumpsuits.
You can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that.
I mean, Jin always has his flame pants on one side.
Yeah, the flame pants is the one I kind of that's like the Tekken 3 joint, right?
Tekken 3 and Tag
Tekken 3
1 are the only games I played really. But I'd like to see maybe an updated version of like Eddie with the tank top and shorts and sneakers.
Oh, like the purple tank shirt, top and the shorts, right?
Because it always looked like the graphics just held it back in Tekken Tag and Tekken 3. So I'd like those. Yeah.
Okay.
Just an idea.
So alongside question of the week, we had polls running on several different platforms, as including Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, and all. Are you okay with $70 fighting games? So you're paying $70 for a full-fledged game, having microtransactions. We ended up with a very close race actually here, with 53% saying no. Get out my pockets. I already paid you. You don't need to get any more, right? But still, like 53%, that means a cool 47 were like completely fine with, hey, costumes, in Tekken case, like things like, effects, special visual effects, I'm trying to say virtual visual effects you get like for hits and, animations and such. I don't know, emotes, taunts. In some cases, like, like more MK1, right? Fatalities, holiday fatalities, very special fatalities that you can put out there that are universal for everyone. So not as divided, not like as divided in a sense of like skewing to one side to the other, which was actually a little bit of a surprise. Were you guys expecting that it'd be more like, nah, like, we just don't want to pay any more microtransactions for a fighting game. We expect to have everything we want there. Did you think it was going to skew more one way versus the other?
I was expecting it to be more clear cut either way. Either the FGC doesn't care or they care. Not this kind of yes, kind of no.
There's a really this is a now says a tangent, but there's a really cool content creator out there. If you haven't already checked them out, it's called Pirated Software. It's not really fighting game related, but this guy has a history in game development. He worked apparently 2 years overtime straight for StarCraft 2. He developed Wings of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
StarCraft 2, and then you have this $15, the first sparkly horse for World of Warcraft.
I know exactly came out. What story you're about to tell. Yep.
That $15 microtransaction made more money than the entirety of StarCraft 2.
And StarCraft 2 didn't slouch. It made good money. It made good money.
But the fact that sparkly microtransaction horse made more money than a fully developed game that went into R&D, development, production, everything, QC, all that, marketing, sparkly horse, $15, microtransaction, made more money. You wonder why the industry, they want to push this? It's because people will fucking buy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's why. So, so it's kind of clear cut right there, right between the community. Just maybe skewing a little bit more on like still no. We don't know if that's going to change later with future games that might come out. One that we're going to talk about actually in a little bit.
Like so, I think the comments around the poll are also important. So one is if fighting games want to charge $15 costumes, they are free to do that, but they should be free to play like most games that feature those market prices. And MTX, so I think he means microtransactions, and that's in contrast to like a comment that like I would see like on YouTube where somebody says that the microtransactions don't sell me fundamental things that should be making the $70 pie. Why not? I don't gotta buy it, which is the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, there's a really cool. I remember there's a really cool like graph that goes out, like an infograph that just shows like a burger. And it's like, oh, this is video games in the early 2000s, right? Like the full burger is like the full price of it, right? Nowadays, it's like you cut it. It's like the patty, it's the lettuce, it's this. And each component is like, your game is really the two buns. And now you have to like buy the DLC or certain components of it to make it the meaty full experience. It's like, what people seem to be divided on there.
I know what image you're talking about, but the thing
it always makes us round. Always makes me hungry.
I always found interesting about that image is that, like let's say you got to buy the lettuce separately, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, if the game company didn't know that they could make money off the lettuce, they wouldn't have made the lettuce in the first place. That's kind of, that's I think a way that you really got to think about like some of these DLCs and microtransactions, it's not like they made them and they were like, okay, let's pull that out of the game. Because throughout the 2010s, that was a lot of the mentality that, you made this thing and you pulled it out. And sometimes they did do that. They for sure did do that sometimes with
Street Fighter X Tekken looking at you.
Yeah, like, so that is true in some cases, but in many cases, the only reason you even got that content or that content available is because they fully expected to sell it. So
yeah,
that's what it is.
True. Absolutely true. That's definitely the other side of looking at it. All right. So with that's actually going to close out this week's question of the week and poll. Remember, guys, we do one every week. We'll have one ready for you guys later on in the show. And we'll be taking a quick break, guys. We're going to be jumping right into the Akuma reveal trailer that just showed up earlier today for Street Fighter 6. So if you want to see what the legendary Metsuts warrior is going to be bringing, you're going to want to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back. All right. So it's here. It's time. He's here. And he's bringing an old familiar stage with him. Did you guys happen to check out the trailer for Akuma that just dropped 3 hours ago?
Of course. It was like a World Tour trailer. You know how they like to tease them early. I don't know why they do this, but I'd rather have the gameplay trailers early.
I know, but that's just us. They got to build the hype, Gabe.
Well, they didn't do it for Rashid.
We know he's going to be awesome. Right. We know we're going to probably play him, but the casuals don't know. The people out there don't know. They're like, oh, Akuma, or maybe they need a reminder. So they got to get hyped. They got to bring it up a little bit there.
And it still might be too early for a gameplay trailer because honestly, they could be really working on this character up before, like a week or two before he's actually released. So, and not to mention, I think you want that gameplay trailer like fresh. You know, you want that gameplay trailer fresh. There's multiple reasons not to put a gameplay trailer that early. You know, because there could be a move that he has now. If they would have put like a sizzle trailer out of his moves, and then they're like, "Oh, we got to take this out." Yeah, we gotta take this out.
No. So right now, trending at number 32 in gaming, actually on the YouTube platform. It shows it right there. 4 hours ago, already 250,000 views. We actually get a look at actual in-game render of Akuma. I mean, we've already known what he's going to look like. We've not only seen the initial announcement for the first DLC in season 1. We've also seen like additional kind of like leaked artwork in like Capcom offices that they've shown in other sizzle videos. But what we didn't see is actually the stage, which I honestly didn't even think about until they actually showed them. And I was like, I instantly like recognized it from the rip. I just didn't know, or I forgot that there was a statue in it. But we got a returning classic stage from Alpha 2, which we haven't seen in quite some time. I don't know if you noticed that from the rip, Gabe, but yeah, it's a pretty iconic stage. So 2 things.
Yes, I did notice because it was more noticeable because of the beach. Like if you notice in Alpha 2 on the floor, there's the ocean. Like it's like the shoreline.
There's caverns.
Yeah, it's a shoreline. However, I don't think it's a stage. I think it's just World Tour.
Oh, you think it's World Tour? Okay.
I mean, for now, again, it's just World Tour. It can be an area in World Tour because Aki had her first like video inside of the Chinese era looking dragon.
And you know what? And so did Ed. Because his was like the subway, and then we didn't see the lab until we actually saw gameplay.
I'm pretty sure that the director said that it's a stage. The Goku Inko.
Okay.
Intel,
he might be right because there was that interview afterwards. There was that interview.
Did you only watch the trailer, Gabe?
I sped through the Capcom highlight. I did. The Capcom highlight itself.
You're always fucking up, Gabe.
Because casuals don't want to watch. You know, the pro players look.
Listen, he knows. You know what? I will not knock Gabe. He is a player through and through. He's like, listen, I want to know the real shit that he cares about. He's like, I want to see if there's gameplay. Here's my thing.
Here's how I watched it. I watched the trailer and then I watched Max's reaction to the Capcom highlights.
You got to get that man's balls out your mouth, Gabe. You really do. You got to get his balls out your mouth. Like,
whoa.
Ja,
I'm messing with you.
Ja, his balls are not in his mouth. They're on his chin. It's digging his mouth. It's the other way around.
So look, here's the deal. I watch his reaction videos. I don't sit there and watch his like full gameplay. It's usually to put me to sleep, but I don't sit there and watch his full like gameplays of stuff or like breakdowns. You know what I'm saying is I watched that to just get a gauge of it, and then I saw that the director was talking, and I was like, I'm gonna skip through this because it's just I don't like. Here's why I wanted to skip through that. It was just the people that were asking him the questions were also Capcom people, and also the reason why they probably just showed the World Tour clip is because yes, that was more of a Capcom showcase of their games. There was a lot of Exoprimal and all of this other game, so it's very casual friendly, like Monster Hunter. Like, oh my god, I don't need Monster Hunter in my life. Like, I'm good. I'm not interested. So it's hard for me to like stay even focused on those Capcom highlights because of just other games that I'm not interested in. So
can't knock you for wanting what you want, all right? Can't knock you for that. So what I'm going to knock you for is for telling me about what you liked about the trailer. Have you found any little details there that might be kind of showing off what Akuma might be up to?
So there was an extra hand on top of his hand. Did you notice that in his uppercut punch?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, that is some JoJo ass shit going on right now.
Yeah, it showed a couple punches, and then it showed him doing a fireball to the statue, and then it showed an uppercut. So we're obviously getting, traditional moves. And then there was just like, unless we're getting decapitated, I don't know.
I'm like worried about that.
Yeah.
Man's punching heads off statues.
Yeah. So we're obviously
Cammy once in the gut, just disintegrates.
We're obviously going to get a Raging Demon from the photo that was taken like on January 1st, that Happy New Year thing.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's just going to be weird. But that extra punch, I feel like he might have a different projectile, or maybe just. I hope he's not a long range puncher like Ed was, because if it's a long range, then we're not really going to be getting like a close range fighter type deal.
Akuma's never struck me as one of those designs, or even a character, right? Lore wise, that's like he's going to fight you from far away. No, he's getting in your face. He's getting in your face. He wants to make sure you can smell the funky ass breath he's had for whatever vegetable he ate for breakfast.
Mid to short range always.
I hope that what I'm hoping for is so the cool thing about Akuma is that they're constantly evolving this guy. I don't know if you've caught that over the years, but they are constantly evolving him. Like, yes, he has a DP. Yes, he has his hurricane kick. But like whenever he gets brought into like the next iteration of the game, he always has something special like and unique up his alley. Like even like Third Strike, right? He had the hidden super, like the triple down and triple punches where he actually hits the ground and all, right? Like that super beefy ass super. And Street Fighter 4.
Well, what was remember in Street Fighter 3 also no EX bar, unlike everybody else.
No EX bar. Good point. Yeah. And Street Fighter 4, I mean, okay, I want to say it's an evolution, but everyone kind of evolved in that due to the sense of like ultras, right? And how those really worked out. I think 5, he was more of a unique case in terms of his kit.
So I see where you're going. Like in 4, what he had was the double hit, the double heavy kick, which was like not every character at the start of Street Fighter 4 had a focus breakable move. Like or normal. Yeah, he had a normal that was focus breakable. Other than like Ryu having heavy kick close and
so the solar plex punch,
and certain characters having 2-hit moves, but he had a far ranging one, which was good.
It was
also
fast.
Had an infinite in vanilla, too. And also had what is it? You got like Abel who breaks guard, but like again, character really known, really popular, fast move that can break stuff.
And like I said, evolving. And in some cases even combining, right? In 5 with his V Trigger 2, where he had the instant like dive. Move that he had like as far back as SNK2 and such, right? The CVS 2 game or CVS and CVS 2 games.
I think you're thinking of okay, no. You're talking about the V Trigger 1 DP come down. Because
was it V Trigger 1? Yeah, my bad, V Trigger 1.
You could also be careful. You're thinking of the Evil Ryu, Kage.
Oh, I am. You are absolutely correct. I use that. Definitely thinking.
I was like,
hey, listen, they're basically the same character, right?
You said that move.
You can give me a mulligan on that one. Give me a mulligan.
Here's the thing. You said that move, and I was like, wait, I used that move. That's not Akuma. I don't use Akuma.
That is true. That is true. Kage. Good point.
I get what you're saying. There's also like you got to take into account Oni stuff, but then in the terms of evolving, like you're talking about like how his beard was red, all of his face and his beard was red inside of the Street Fighter 5 iteration, like the Simba Mufasa type face.
Yeah, they got the Mufasa.
And now he's all gray. So
why
are you laughing at me?
Well, that, but I'm saying, evolution. Like he's always like been that one that's trying to achieve more, more strength, more power, you know, and they're constantly just making his kit kind of evoke that lore of his, which is really, really awesome. And here is definitely no different, right? Like that aura, that spirit, that whatever he has around him with an actual like Oni face that's actually projecting around him. I'm getting like levels of, I was telling Ja when I was watching the trail, I was like, I'm getting like Azura's Wrath levels of like Akuma, like destructiveness here. Like for those that know Azura's Wrath and like the DLC, like congratulations, you're like fucking old like me, probably. Sorry to all present company in here because you all probably know too. But you remember like that DLC was like fucking fire, right?
Great.
Because of the great crossover it had between the two, and like it also kind of it kind of deepened the lore with Akuma, ironically, even more. And I'm getting just those vibes here. I'm getting those vibes in just this short little teaser with what he's doing with that uppercut on the statue and like the power and how girthy he is. And I don't know if you also checked out, but like during his uppercut, you're getting like there's like splashes, like really quick flashes, and it's like Ryu is what's popping up there. I don't know if you peeped that, but you're seeing Ryu actually also DP at the same time as him doing it. So I'm like, oh, is he kind of trying to remember? And actually, Ryu's like mimicking this exact same DP style, like almost to the T with him. So I'm very curious as to like how they're going to, invoke that, because Street Fighter 4 also kind of left me on a bit of a hanger, a cliffhanger. I don't know if you remember that ending with like Gokin and Akuma, like, kind of facing off again at the end with like power of nothingness, all that, and him trying to, chase Ryu to kind of have him submit. Like, I want to see where they're going to take the story between those two characters, if we're going to see anything in 6 for that, because like Akuma's like old as shit, but he gets more dangerous the more he fights, right? So I'm very curious as to how they're gonna build the lore on him in this game for sure. Because I think in 5, like, I honestly can't even remember what he did in 5.
It was just do you remember the story? There was no real story. It was just the explanation of his like full beard was like more consumed and demonic like.
Yeah, the more he fights, the more ogre-like he becomes, the more demonic his features become, right? Which is prevalent here. The way he's looking, his forearms look like they make Luke's look like not Popeye's arms. It's kind of intimidating. But so we got a quick glimpse. No gameplay, obviously. We didn't get any gameplay, but we'll have plenty of time to definitely see what he's gonna do. As they said, the fist with ambition so great they seek to soar beyond the very heavens. Like that, it is that kind of wording that also had me, kind of just remind me of Azura's Wrath. I'm like, this is like some really, really epic shit. And especially that last shot where you're seeing him from like such an overpowering shot, and like all that's behind him are just like the sky, the stars. Like he's supposed to be this just infallible like fist god that is just going to pummel you. Like really interesting presentation. So he's gonna be coming in spring. So can't wait for that.
I do want to make one possible correction though, because earlier I said that it was a stage. Like he said, it was a stage. What he actually said, because I was like, did I remember that correctly? What he actually said was, in addition, players will be able to visit his Goku Ento. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Goku Ento stage in World Tour. That's what he said. But on the actual video for it, on the trailer, it says, find him in the new World Tour area, Goku Ento, where you may ask him to be your master if you dare. So I'm not 100% sure anymore if it's actually going to be a stage or if it's just going to be an area.
Yeah. That sounds like one and the same. Like they're saying the same thing. Like, oh, you'll find him here. And then he's just saying like, you can see him here. Yeah, I feel like it's pointing to the same place. But I mean, also, it's an iconic stage. They should just make it the stage. Yes. Like there's nothing, like it is a sick ass stage. It's right up there with like the field, the grass fields with just like the thunder and the lightning in the background, right? The final face-off one. Yeah, exactly. That's an iconic one as well. It's like what's other iconic?
Oh, Street Fighter 3 one with all the wooden statues in the background. It reminds me of the
wooden statues in the back. Yeah. I'm thinking of all just iconic ones now, but I mean like Sagat's one's a pretty iconic one too.
The cage.
Kami's is iconic in 2. Yeah, we can go for days on this one. But yeah, Akuma has some pretty banger stages, so they should really just include that one. I hope that's just included. That's just not where you ask them to be like, please whip my ass. Akuma's like one of the most popular characters in the game, like in the entire franchise. Like, I mean, I cannot think of really, it's like Chunners. I don't want to say Chun, Akuma, Ryu. Probably Kami is up there. Like I would say those are like the top 4 if I were to pick a bunch of characters.
Okay. I think the first 8 maybe, you know.
I mean, the first 8 are good, but I think, yeah.
I think Blanca
Alright.
more of a casual.
Guile, like
Guile's good, but like I don't know about popular though. Like I don't know.
his song is popular.
Actually, you know what? You guys can tell us. Make this an additional question of the week. What do you think are the most popular Street Fighter characters? Like, if you think Street Fighter, who comes up? Just go. First answer. You tweet it. You put it on Discord. Hit us up. But yeah, so that's all we got for Street Fighter 6. We're gonna hopefully get a Akuma trailer relatively soon, like an actual gameplay trailer soon. But in the meantime, though, hopefully, let us know what you guys thought about that. Like, are you looking forward to Akuma? Do you think he's going to be your main from the rip? Do you think he's going to be, I'm assuming he's going to be a glass cannon, but what do you think? He's going to have a really interesting gimmick here, especially with that weird aura that he's projecting that he's never projected before? Let us know. At Double Tap FGC on all social media platforms. Make sure to hit us up there. All right. So from that, let's move on to someone else that's actually risen back up. This one was kind of being a little foreshadowed. There was some tweets that were going around, right? Some mic checks, hit them with one of those that came through. And now it's, of course, is Multiversus. We actually got an official developer update that did release like it was about 13 hours ago. So earlier in the day, early in the morning. So they're back for those that maybe came in after June, like maybe, came in with a Street Fighter wave and didn't know what Multiversus was, because it would be around the time that it was kind of taken offline. Multiversus is basically WB's and their intellectual properties, among some others now that are all being put into a platform style fighter. Think your Melee, think your Brawlhalla's and such. But it's unique. I got to play with it a lot. It was actually a fun game, but it was in what was called open beta, right?
Oh boy.
But
early access.
Early access, excuse me. It was early access to your wallets.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly
it was
what
early
it was.
early access to your wallets. Yes, there was already a battle pass. I think I spent $10. It is what it is. I wanted to get the Harley costume. But yeah, it was in early access. It did well. It did well. There was, it was the whenever you like jump into the realm of like Smash, right? Like or in platform fighters, you're always going to get compared to Smash. Some do well, some not as well. Some, rethink the ink. There's no problem with, looking back at the formula and making it work. Thinking at Nickelodeon All Stars, right? They did a big update and big change to theirs as well. And then you also got some great stories like Brawlhalla, right? That does a great healthy community. It works, right? The platform fighter is a working concept. So this game came out the gate like relatively well. It did well at Evo. It had a great showing at Evo. It did a 2v2 tournament and all. Tom and Jerry is fucking broken. I don't care what anybody says. Some characters are insane, but it's friendly enough to get into. It's easy enough to get into, and it gets, the depth is in there. So after they did the early access, that was a lot of their feedback that they were getting, a lot of the data they were receiving. And they also had to, the other side of it was they had to go offline because they had to rethink the ink on some of the formula to the game. So they took the servers offline in June. You were actually able to completely, just remind you guys were still able to play this game offline, but you had to already have had it in like your Steam or in your console. You couldn't like re-download it after they got rid of after they put the servers offline. So it's one of those situations where you could have just actually kept it going. And funny enough, I actually didn't get a chance to look and see if people were actually still playing. I mean, you were only stuck to local, right? So you had to be, it was like true OG FGC, right? Like you just had to be in person to play. So you had to hope people had enough setups and you had the place to actually meet up and you actually could go and play there. But they're back, right? They came back and they are back with, I guess, a vengeance. So we did get a chance to sit down, or not us sit down, excuse me. But we did get to sit down with Tony Hyun, the game director and co-founder for Player First, and had a huge update coming off the rip with just saying, hey, we are launching May 28th. And, the teams heard their feedback. They've learned a lot. And they've been hard at work at, changing things up. So we got a bunch of footage that was involved in this trailer as well. We got to see the things like the lighting changes and the graphical changes because they have moved on to like Unreal Engine 5. And they've been just working really hard on improving the entire player experience there, which, I mean, this all sounds great, right? I don't know about you guys, but I think, it's been kind of received pretty well since it's been dropped.
Yeah, no, I was pretty much ready for them to come back because I didn't feel like they weren't coming back. However, there was a time there where it was much radio silence about it. We weren't too sure what was going to happen, especially when people put money into the game, but they never officially said goodbye, like that is done. They were just pulling it. But again, it was just the way that they pulled it was sort of like sad news, like they were unsure.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time, like there were talks about like how it's going to monetize, because this is where Jack is going to probably just like jump in at any point to kind of talk about the methodology as to how calling it an early access versus an open beta, but then you still do already have microtransactions and all in it. What it deems what it is. It looks like WB looked like they were looking pretty deep as to how they want the game to make money. Obviously, they're a business. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anyone here could really object to that. So I think that was a component that they had brought up, that's saying that they need to go back to the drawing board and think, because there were monetizations already there. It's just, was it enough? Was it actually making money? But it was weird because of said open or early access and such. Is like traditionally that's not a thing, right? That's not like usually the norm out there, right? When you classify it as an early access.
So the thing is, like, I'm kind of conflicted a bit because once, based on what they've told us, what they did in terms of pulling the game offline was the right decision. I can only imagine trying to support the version of the game that was out while also moving it to Unreal Engine 5 and building out those features would have been a nightmare. Their team probably is not big enough to actually handle that. We know that the games industry, like last year, was a bloodbath for the games industry in terms of investment and money, which is why we got a lot of those, like all the layoffs that's still happening right now.
It's still happening in Q1, yeah.
Exactly. So
didn't WB do a full like rehaul of everything? Like they even their movie department.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure. Like how I would not be surprised if WB Games in that division was affected, because everybody's being affected by these layoffs and everything. So yeah, like with all that going on, them pulling this down so they can make those changes was a good idea. My problem was back then, it still is now, that okay, you introduced the game as early access and then you kind of changed your mind, right? People were putting money into the game. They didn't put this money into the game so they could wait another year and then use it, right? They were putting the money into the game because they were expecting to use it at that time. So I don't like the way that really like it worked out for consumers. But in terms of it was a good decision at the end of the day. It just sucked it happened the way that it did. And yes, when you release a game in early access and you start accepting money, you're basically using that money to help fund the development of the game. At least that's what you're supposed to be doing, which leads to another conversation of should AAA, so they're not a AAA developer, but should student developers, let's not even talk about the developer, let's talk about the publishers. Should big publishers be releasing games in early access?
To be honest, is Nickelodeon All-Stars, was the part 1 a beta and part 2 was the real game?
No, I mean, I think part 1 was the way it was supposed to be. Almost every game where you have the first game, stuff gets cut out of it. Like they have these ideas that they just cannot execute in that game. And if that game does well, we're putting the stuff that we thought about into that game. It happened with for example, take God of War 2 with the wings. With the Icarus, right? Icarus rings.
Yep.
They had that ready to go in the first game, but they couldn't get it like solid enough to make it like to actually make it in the game. So that happened. So like that's why I don't call part 1s betas for the most part.
What about Vanilla Marvel 3?
Touche, Gabe.
Because the same can be said for Vanilla Street Fighter 4, and because then you have Super Street Fighter 4, which came out a year and a half or so later. Like the thing is, it's not far-fetched for a fighting game to do these type of things.
That's true.
Except that
Absolutely,
it pulled the
absolutely
game.
not. Considering here's my touche to your touche. We already know there's supposed to be 3 versions of Street Fighter 6 before the game even came out due to those leaks.
Oh, excuse me.
Remember, we already know there's a Super Street Fighter 6 in the horizon. It's just a matter
What's your
of
favorite letter,
when.
Dre? Is it R? No, you.
Yeah. It's called. It was public knowledge. It was out there. It was
You found the
posted
leak
the
in your ship.
Mm.
No.
But with this game, the fact that it was early access and you were putting money into it, that really it's a live service. Like early access is essentially just saying, okay, it's a live service in this particular instance, right? We're not talking about like ready or not early access, or even there's a lot of early access games that the developer is really developing it along as they're getting money. But some of these games, like Fortnite, for example, live service as they use the money to help with the development of the game, and that's what this was. So
It wasn't. Didn't Fortnite say beta for like years before it even?
did.
Yeah, it did. Right.
It was early access.
It was early access / season 1 didn't start for quite some time.
It was early access. Like the whole point.
No, I'm saying to them, not you're not quoting you, like quoting Fortnite early access. But go on.
For Fortnite, I will say they were completely taken by surprise at the success of the game. It really was early access. I'm not sure how early people played Fortnite, but there was a point where you could use a sniper as a shotgun. I'm sorry, a shotgun as a sniper rifle in that game. It was truly early access. It was just fun to play. So it was a lot.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the idea of porting over the engine and also developing new modes, they introduced in the trailer that hey, there's a PvE mode that's going to be there. So it isn't just strictly PvP, which is something you should have in a live service game for sure, because not everyone wants to compete against other people. They need to have a mode that they can actually just sit down and maybe just enjoy the game, maybe with some different rule sets, so that way they make it even more fun. Sure, not competitive, but like who cares? They're there to play and enjoy your product and support your product as it is a live service game, right?
No, I was just gonna say, as much as the situation sucked, the game will be better for it.
Better for it. It's like, it's the medicine you take. It sucks. It tastes terrible, but trust the process. It will be better.
And might I say, what a difference from Overwatch to Overwatch 2. If you want to see what that could have looked like, where they kept the game up.
If they would have just, exactly. But yeah, so we got to get a couple of glimpses too at something very interesting, including some concept art for some stages that included the Townsville Hall. So for my PPGs or my Powerpuff Girl fans out there, or AKA my whoop ass girls, if you guys know the lore there, that's deep. And then, of course, one for Dexter's Lab. I mean, you can tell it's Dexter's Lab. You actually see Dee Dee's silhouette and stuff in the background. And also the big Dexter, like, mech in the middle and the bottom. It's pretty iconic to the character. Meaning we have these other IPs that they're going to be throwing in there, which we just didn't have before. So it's not just a matter of stages, matter of modes, but, of course, the characters. And going to rightfully assume, the content that they're going to want to present to the players, and hope they let us keep what we had before, right? I can't remember if they actually ever like formally said anything about that, where it's like, oh, when we come back you'll have everything you have, or you get a voucher for what you spent or something like that. I'd have to dig to see what the official statement was, but I would hope it's not the latter. Well,
because it's not like they were announcing that the service was shutting down. Well, I mean, technically speaking, the service was shutting down, but like with the intention that it was coming back, that we're going to, it was almost like we're taking the servers down for maintenance for a long time. Like that's basically the statement that they gave. But I don't think they really even had to address whether or not you were still going to have access to your things. Now, I'm assuming all that content ported over. We may get more information later on, like, with the change to Unreal Engine, we weren't able to bring these items on. The only thing I can imagine is that they're going to offer, maybe not refunds, but at least credits back.
Yeah, exactly. To whatever is deemed to your account or something. Yeah, I would hope. I mean, if they made the smart enough move for the game here, I would think they are, to the name, right? Player first, make the smart move for said players.
We'll
right?
see.
Otherwise, I would say, bro, you might want to go look at someone to just do some rebranding, because then people are going to hold you up to that. But we'll just have to wait and see. So, hey, May 28th, we'll be back into Multiversus. I'll be back. I can't wait. It was fun. It actually was a fun game to play. I did I think I did a couple commentaries for some tournaments. It was more fill-in because I had to produce them, but it was very fun. It was actually very hype when we get to see it. And then ranked was a grind, and it was, for me, actually, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to jumping back on it when it does come back.
I'll give it that. It does look a lot better. Like it looks much smoother.
It does look way better. The stages look better too.
Yeah, a lot less awkward in the hit transitions and all of that. You can tell what's on the screen more than before.
I'm hoping they use those later hitboxes that they were fine tuning as they were doing the game, because that was a drastic change. I'm hoping they just said like, let's port those over and refine those even more. So Multiverse coming back May 28th, just in time, less than a year. So hey, good on them. Less than 1 year, could be 11. I think it's like 11 months and a couple of days. So we'll just have to wait and see what kind of new content comes out in the meantime. All right, so that's just gonna wrap us up here on for Multiverses. We're gonna be here after this break. We're gonna check out some of this news, some of the early bird specials here that Static Gorilla may or may not have to pay extra for the Evo early bird listings here for the actual attendees. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back right after this. All right, so with that, we had another kind of announcement, or rather kind of an update as well that went down on Twitter. So if you haven't already, this Evo season, you know, it's that time. It's already March, so we're getting some of the early bird numbers, or not even the numbers. We're just getting the early bird placements because we're not going to see actual numbers until the actual registration concludes. Which means anyone in this room that hasn't registered for it is going to be paying $200 plus for your game and your stay. I'm talking about Static here because he's pissed he forgot to register. Darn, the classic. Yep. I forgot.
Yep. And well, I mean, I'm also indecisive about the games I want to enter because I play too many games at these, but I want to enter Street Fighter. I want to play Tekken. I want to start getting into Tekken, but I don't know if I've updated you, Crash Tag. I got beat up online a lot, so I'm trying to restart my situation of the game by learning Eddie and also by how do I say it? What's that word? Getting good.
Getting good.
Tekken.
Okay. Yeah, those are good things. I got beat up online. I need to get better.
That kind of teases the top two games of Evo right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, running in top, number one, of course, Street Fighter 6. I mean, not really surprised there. It's its first year still, so it's running pretty tough. We're gonna have the end of season 1 characters as well. So it's going to be the entire first season. Battle Pass will be out with Rashid, Akuma, Ed, and Aki. Just switch those last two. And then we got Tekken 8, which once again, not really surprised. Tekken 8 still very fresh. It's going to be this first year Evo. It's always done very, very well. So I'm not really surprised at the fact that it's early bird, jumping on. Because it'll be the first actual Evo champ for Tekken 8. And then we've got Guilty Gear Strive. This one, mad props to Strive for its, I think, year 3? Like 3.5 or something like that. And still going strong in the big 3 there. A lot of people have been calling the game dead because, it's rode its highs, right? Like, it was kind of like the COVID savior when it came out. And in the times where like Street Fighter 5 and all these other games were just they haven't implemented rollback, it got a big lead in the race there. And also it was technically the first like next gen, sequel to one of them, to a major game, quote unquote, because now it's actually more mainstream than ever. So it's really cool to still see it in top 3. Yeah,
it was the first one out of these that was on PS5 and 4. I believe.
Yes, that actually made its transition over. Yeah.
June. I almost did it again. It's June 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
So this will be its 2021 Evo that was online still. So 2022, 23, and 24. This will be its third Evo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still at number 3. It's maintained its audience and its player base. So it really has. The player base doesn't fall off because now it has its own community. It's not like, it's an anime community. No, it's Guilty Gear Strive has its own thing now.
That's actually a really good way of putting it. That is very true. It used to be like, it's the anime scene. It's like, no, it's just built its own at this point.
Yeah.
And I hear it more often. Shit, it happened even here tonight with someone that I was playing games with. I was like, oh, sure, you know Strive? It's like, yeah, I play Strive. It's like, wow, okay. Like, it was like, oh yeah, I play anime games. Like, no, I play Guilty Gear. I play Strive. I'm like,
Oh,
cool. Okay. So Grand Blue making its number 4 debut,
That's
obviously with Rising.
honestly, for me, that's crazy.
You think
Because
so?
that means the player base hasn't fallen off. That means that the player base is still down to pay $50 or play it for free to play the game, and that their characters are busted. So honestly, like if everybody's playing Siegfried, then they're enjoying the game, or they're just enjoying the content that's out there. You got 2B, you got who was the other DLC? The guy with the huge swords. I forget his name. But
the huge swords.
Yeah, is a new character. He just came out in January.
There's a lot of guys.
He floats around like Nova and has huge swords. Anyway,
floats around. Like
and we're gonna talk about the new characters coming up soon. So I think it's the heavy content that they're throwing out there for Grand Blue that's keeping them up there. So I'm surprised. That's honestly a surprise for me. I didn't expect and I guess it's because it's newer. You know, it's still very fresh. And I mean, people were clamoring. This game, we've stated it so many times. It was one to keep an eye out for. It's going to be the Phoenix Rising, because Side Games was not going to. They could have easily just left this first venture of them to kind of just die, even though sure they had ArcSys backing them and they were helping them and a lot of the design work and the way their engine runs and all. Absolutely. But instead of doing that, they actually went ahead and decided to invest into the game more and like, fuck it, we'll just make a new version of it. We'll update the netcode. We'll add some more content. We'll add more content that people didn't even want. Like you can basically play Fall Guys in this shit. It's like dope. Like, you know what? Didn't ask for it, but you still made it. You're giving it a hell of an effort. The community has spoken out and the gameplay is better. Yeah. It's absolutely better. It's an improvement. Is it perfect? No. But regardless, it's still a great stride forward. Lucilius.
No pun intended there.
Yeah, Lucilius was the character. However, also, I feel that the game is oh damn it. Oh, okay. So it doesn't have its community as of yet. Sort of like where Guilty Gear was in those couple first years where everybody was playing it.
I can see that.
Like now,
I can see that.
Yeah, Rising, everybody's playing it. Unless the people that were about to play Tekken have fallen off of Tekken, went to Tekken, and that's why Tekken is second place. So I don't know. It's just what I'm saying. What's fifth, Dre?
Fifth, right through the halfway point, we got the old classic. We got the run back, the throwback game for this year's Evo, right? Because they're gonna do one every year. I think that's the whole point. They're gonna try to right. So we got Third Strike making its way in fifth. So all the Fightcade warriors that have been just holding it down can actually can come out and actually play, and they will be playing on legit arcade cabs and such. Remember, arcade hardware. This is all like real stuff. They're going through a lot of trouble to ensure to have like the perfect arcade experience there and not deviate from that,
and make sure that everybody can have a USB plug-in and all of those motherboards,
all those super guns.
Yeah. I entered a tournament on Saturday just to put my feet in the water. I drowned in shallow water. I drowned. Dude, it's 0-2, man.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yo, you know what? I know we go through these conversations. Like, yo, fighting games aren't that hard. It's like, listen, old school games are a different breed. Like, let's just be real. This isn't the game was going to get a patch. If something was broken, it is broken and you had to deal with it in some way, shape, or form. Yep. And that's it. Like, that was the mindset. Third Strike, people are still playing. Like I said, Fightcade still kept it going. Plenty of other tournaments are still running it like offline, in whatever arcades they have. Like it's still lively out there. Good. So when you are really dipping your toes in, you are just swimming in with the sharks in Jello water. And
with Evo Japan, Evo Japan having the game as well, and then I'm sure that we'll be having after Evo Japan more people will sign up. From Japan themselves. So like.
To this day,
remember,
to this day, I will never forget.
I will never forget. Go ahead.
I will never forget. The Third Strike is some grimy motherfuckers, not only in just their setups, but just like literally in their setups. But I mean by that is like first Evo Japan 2018, to make this story real short, me and Gabe found ourselves in an arcade. I don't know. It wasn't a Sega arcade. It was a different one.
It was like behind a KFC under the train. Like it was like in the L.
Listen, you just find this is how you know you find the floor. You find the floor with fighting games because that's the one that has the most smoke. Because it got the most businessmen smoking with the ties down, and it's just like you can barely breathe. We head up to a line in the cade that we're just looking at, and it's just all leads to a Third Strike machine that they have half open. It's a face to face. So you got two cabs. One of them is open, and they're clearly tapping into the video signal. These motherfuckers are streaming.
Yep.
Like, oh, bet this is awesome. They're streaming, and we're watching. Was it a Hugo or an Alex?
It was a Hugo versus Makoto, and the Makoto made a comeback, and I was like,
yeah.
They were like, you want to get on? I said, no.
And
it's cool.
We watch, and we're like, wow, that was some outlandish shit. That's so crazy. Then they looked at us. I mean, don't get me wrong, very inviting.
Yeah,
I think. But they're like, hey, the seat's open. Come here to me and Gabe. And we're like, yo, I know you guys see we're foreigners. I'm not about to get fucking caught in 4K to whatever you're streaming. Fuck no, I'm not sitting down. I just saw what that man did to that guy. I'm not doing that. And I look at Gabe, he's like, like, no, we're cool, bro. This is a setup. We're not doing that. We are not doing this. I was intimidated from that.
One hand, I was like, I 100% want to play. And the other hand, I 100% don't want to die.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
I
do you
don't
want to be
humiliated.
Like, yeah,
like,
did you
I
want
play
to be
fighting
a clip?
games, but I don't play y'all fighting games.
Yeah, you guys are fucking grimy. But I cannot wait to see some high level Third Strike. That shit is just hype as fuck. It's gonna be so much fun, and you know what? It's gonna open up a lot of people's eyes to it that are gonna want to go home and put on our Fightcade. And get on. So it's gonna be great.
My favorite thing was when we went to the rest in peace, the other big arcade. And the guy in his business suit on like lunch break destroyed me in Third Strike. And I was like, while y'all were playing on the Gundams, I'm like, no. I'm done.
I remember.
Like, you take that, man. He's like, did a combo on me with just Ryu, playing Ryu. I'm like, all right, no.
Yeah, ordinary guys, no joke. Yeah. So we got in sixth place now. We've got Under Night. Okay. Which awesome. Like Under Night still is showing out, showing love. I think this is going to be the first year, right? This is the first year for the new version.
Yeah, you need to. Yes.
Yeah.
They announced Unity 2 at last year's Evo.
Yes, that's what it was. So Unity 2 is getting its first Evo. So it's just gonna be the bar, and then we've got this is where it gets a little not interesting, but it is interesting. It's like, damn, MK1 in 7th place. So it's kind of difficult to gauge. Like, granted, disclaimer, these are all early bird. Does not dictate the final support of what the community is or who is going in. We'll wait for the final count for that. All right. But it's still kind of an early indicator. It's like, damn, MK1 kind of, it's lower than expected. I thought MK1 would be kind of more of like middle of the pack like that. To see it at 7th is like, damn, like, are people really thinking twice about it? Are MK players just really just going to wait it out a bit more? But at the same time, it's like, the more you wait it out, the more money it's going to cost. It's like, pick and choose your poison there. So MK1 kind of being such a relatively new game, even just a little bit older than Tekken 8, right? Because like this came out in November, what was it? November or October?
September, wasn't it?
September.
Yeah. Sorry, it was MK1. Yeah, so it was like tail end. So it was like quarter 4, like just barely into quarter 4. That it released. That's still in fighting games. It's still like, we're like what, 6 months, 7 months right now. Like, it's not even in year 1 yet. So, just seeing the contrast there between like MK1 and some of the other games, like at this point, it's kind of like, not a full telling, but doesn't really paint it in a great light. But we're just gonna have to wait and see for the actual final count to see how that's gonna turn up. And then we got King of Fighters 15 running on 8th place. I know for a fact King of Fighters is always just late. So like, this one's a mulligan. This one's gonna maybe go up one more. I'll give it maybe 2. I'll give it 2. If they're getting super saucy with the DLC, it might pop up a little bit.
Real quickly, I was checking the date of like Guilty Gear Strive versus KOF. Strive was 2021, KOF is 2022, February 2022 to be exact. So I'm like, okay, what's falling off? Is it the online play? Is it the amount of players, or is it just KOF doesn't have a long lifeline when it comes to attendance? That could be it. Because for me, it was a surprise that it was even in the Evo lineup.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Speaking of Evo lineup surprises there, right? So this is something that's kind of been making its rounds as well, due to also, in part of the latest developments. So Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? The first year hasn't been on since it's been released, right? This is its last Evo was last year, which, some might say it's like it didn't get like a proper Evo goodbye, right? Because we've been waiting on things like the rollback netcode was like an announcement during Evo that had still been going on. We've currently, we'll talk about that in a little bit, and some of the rumors around that. But in light of the recent events with Toriyama's passing, and of course Dragon Ball being the IP that has inspired countless creatives, countless people, countless other IPs. That is, it's just a big part of pop culture. It's just part of culture in general. Can't even say pop culture because it's just like people just know, right? It's so universal. With that, people have been kind of just like, and by people I mean like social media. It's just like I'm looking at like kind of like the patterns out there. What I've been hearing and what I've been kind of seeing as like a very common and popular like statement is like, hey, we want MK1 swapped out for Dragon Ball Fighters, just due to for numbers and for tribute to Toriyama. Which, I mean, off the rip, I don't know if you should rob another game's entry for something like that, right? Like at first I was like, oh, maybe. And it's like, oh, but guys, this is still early. You don't know where this game's really going to sit. For all you know, it might have a big blow up later, right? Like everyone should have a fair shot. Fighters has already had several years, but that still hasn't brought up, maybe there's still a possibility that something should be done, right? Because it didn't get a farewell Evo, right? Like it really didn't like yup it up if they were going to really like not going to support it the following year. I don't think they were going to. I don't know if they were coming up with that decision like so early that they would know, but I would think it would be early enough that they would at least do something for such a big IP like that. And now in light of recent events, it's kind of had me questioning. Cue the question of the week here. Is that we're curious with the latest developments. What's your take on including Dragon Ball Fighters on the main stage of Evo? You can take it however way you want it. Do you think it should replace something? Do you think it should be something, maybe an exhibition, or just be added to it? Because obviously the community is extremely passionate. If we weren't passionate, you wouldn't hear about the uproar about the latest patch that has caused some issues. But yeah, so we're very curious. So what do you guys think about that? We'd love to hear your take on it. Dragon Ball Fighters to get one more look at the Evo main stage, especially just in due as a tribute to Toriyama.
Yeah.
Let's look on forward to what Arc System Works has been working on. So we already know that there's going to be a world premiere for the next DLC character, that is character number 12, at the Arc World Tour Finals, as well as a playable demo of said character. So we're expected to get not just the actual reveal, but we're going to be seeing some very, very early, potentially final build details on the next patch that comes out with the said characters. We're going to be seeing some tech. We're going to get the good old classic phone footage, right? That's going to be fun to see. We did get a silhouette since that announcement. That announcement was initially, I think it was end of February. Oh, it was actually like February 1st. We knew that, but we did get a silhouette. I actually cannot source it right now. But I believe it was on the official Arc System Works esports page. It was during a one of those extra long videos that they have. The Arc World Tour, they did like the special preview. It was like Jam and them, the preview, Jam and like Ringe, and they had some other talent and stuff like that in there. Yes, it was during then that it actually got revealed, or revealed of a reveal, right? We got the double special there. So we did get a silhouette, and of course the internet took that and ran with that shit, which included possible memes and dreams as to who the character may be. I think right now we're sitting on, obviously, the split between the most wanted characters is Venom and I want to say Abba, right? Would be the other one, I think, is what people are clamoring for right now. Outside of an original character, which I don't know if we'll get. I mean, the last character that we have since received, obviously, was Elfeld and Johnny. So those are two legacy characters. So the likelihood that we'll get a third legacy character, I'm not sure. Because if they want to balance it out and give us some original characters, it will be the next two coming up. And that's assuming if they're keeping that cadence. Because I think, what was it? Last one was that man. We got that man. We got Johnny. Oh, no, excuse me, not Johnny. Johnny was this one. We got that man, aka Asuka. We got who?
Wait, what are you saying? What do you
like the previous season DLC pack like that we had for Guilty Gear Strive?
Asuka, Bridget, Sin, Bridget. Testament wasn't in that one, right? Or am I going too far ahead? I might be going too far ahead.
Might be going a little too far ahead. Yeah. So I believe it was Bedman. It was Bridget.
Yes.
Bridget, Sin, Bedman, and Asuka. Those were the four for that one. So for that, we ended up with 2 legacy and 2 like 1.5 original. Yeah. I want to say, right? Because
Delilah, Bedman.
Yeah, you could say Bedman. Like you could say maybe that's legacy, but if we're gonna keep it on balance, I would say we're gonna get 2 more original characters. But we're just gonna have to find out. So Arc System Works is the World Tour is gonna be happening, of course, on the 21st of March. So it's just 2 weeks away. We got one more show before it actually goes down. Then we'll be covering all that awesomeness on the following episode. So it's going on the 21st of March to the 23rd. So I'm hyped. Hopefully we get to see some good footage. Hopefully it's a really dope character. And hopefully maybe we even get a possibly a double whammy and maybe get a slight
that did happen,
tiny tease to that last one.
That did happen 2 years ago when they showed, I think it was Batman, and then they showed the book of Asuka.
Then they showed the book of Asuka. Yep.
So,
yep. Correct. So we might get lucky there.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Venom. Just him holding up the pole and the silhouette sort of shows it.
Yes, I think Venom too. He would be fun. He would be pretty fun.
You'd think they would already show the character so you can get people to go to the event and register, but oh well. I guess they want to show it like the day of or something. We'll see.
Yeah, man. You gotta have some content. So Venom or Abba, pick your poison. It's gonna be one of those two, or like I said, somebody original. That's really the trifecta we're gonna be seeing there.
Or it's Sharon on top of Slayer. That's the hair. Oh no, man.
That would be good. That would be kind of dope to get Slayer. I would actually enjoy Slayer at this point. I think I'm ready to include Slayer into the mix. We'll have to see. All right. So with that, actually, that is really going to round us up on this episode. And that is round us up on this week. That kind of is like a double entendre there. But regardless, guys, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us for another episode of Double Tap. Make sure to follow us, of course, at Double Tap FGC on all social media platforms, including on YouTube and on Twitter, as well as on Twitch. Make sure to check us out there, as well as on your favorite podcast platform of choice. We're on all of them. No, seriously, we're on all of them. Just throw a dart at the board. Guarantee you, Jaz uploaded it right to that system at some way, shape, or form. You guys make sure to actually also do follow my awesome host here. We got Static Gorilla, of course, at Static Gorilla on all social media platforms, including on Twitch, where he goes live. He was just back from TNS 9. You can hear all about it in the last week's episode. Back to online tournaments?
I don't watch last ones. I unpublished it because I was very upset at my performance in Marvel 3. But I'm playing a lot of Rebirth off stream, but kind of on stream if I feel like it, but more off stream. So that's been taking up my life lately. So more Tomb Raider, more Marvel 3 coming up soon.
Okay. And you guys, of course, you can follow Ja at Jostradamus on Twitter, right? You're still going for that one, right? That's
what I have on Twitter. I just haven't really. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I haven't used that in a while. If you're on Blue Sky, you might want to follow me, but.
There you go. Blue Sky. Hey, make sure to also go follow Double Tap at Blue Sky. We are there as well. I made a post up on that one this week. we'll make a note on that one. Hey, and even though he's not here, still give some love to Meza at Meza FGC. Go follow him. He is still, of course, even if when he's sleeping, I can guarantee you he's dreaming about this, about either this game, this show, or DNF or Dungeon Masters, DFO.
Don't say anything. Just tag him on a picture of sheep. Just tag him on a picture.
Or Bedman.
Yeah, just tag him on a picture of sheep, and then just don't say anything. Let's have the whole community do that, and he's going to be there. Wonder what's going on. When he's asking, don't say a word. Don't say shit.
Don't say shit. And we find out you say shit, we're going to find you. No,
you should count each post go do that. As he counts each sheep.
Show some love to Meza. I'm sure we'll get him back in full force. And of course, you can follow me at #VS as well on Twitter. I'm usually on the Double Tap FGC social media. Just mess around there. But hey, chances are it's me. You can tag me. Make sure to tag us with that. Actually, if there's anything interesting, articles, events, news, any kind of developments on any of the actual events that we checked out here, any of the subject matter, tag us. We're always down. And even if you got a question, tag us. All good. We're very reachable. You guys know where you can find us. We are not hard to reach at all. Once again, also the feedback also is really good for us, guys. We do appreciate all the feedback we can get. Once again, this is on all social media, not social media platforms. I mean, sure, you can tell us if we're cool or not there too, but you can actually rate us on your favorite podcast platform of choice, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Give us some feedback. Let us know what we're doing right so we can keep on doing it right, and let us know what we're doing wrong so we can go back to the training stage and get some grinding on so we can learn that matchup and get better at it. We do appreciate you guys for that. Once again, guys, we'll have a new episode live next week. We got plenty more in store as the news goes through the FGC. But until then, be safe. Make sure to mash. Don't respect the wake up. We'll see y'all next week. Later.